What's good, YouTube? This is the Super Saiyan Scraggy here, and today I have an Ubers match against Vroman31. Now, this guy's a good friend of mine. He was asking for an Ubers match there a couple of days ago, so I just said, sure, why not? And thought I'd just drag out this team. So, the biggest threat really on his team is mainly Ashes, because they usually carry that Life Orb, Swords Dance, and Extreme Speed kind of synergy going on there to do. But to be honest with you, I have nothing else besides Arceus, and probably Dialga and Rayquaza would be paying the arse to take out. As long as I get Rocks Up, Shaman and Thundurus are weakened, and Rayquaza can be weakened as well, so yeah, it's pretty much a win-win situation, I suppose. But anyway, mine's just basically the Sun team that I used before, because I just replaced 3 Pokemon and just shifted in Rayquaza, Fortress, and Lugia. So without further ado, let's just get on to the match. Now, thinking of the leads that thinking of something that he'd lead off with, I was pretty sure he was going to lead off with his Deoxys attack. And that is basically perfect, because I just wanted to lead off with my Groudon, because Groudon, of course, it has the Drought, and I can set up my weather pretty much easily, because he has no opposing weather on his team to counter mine, so getting up weather is just a handy asset for me, and it's okay so far. So I switch out basically into Cresselia just to judge and see what this team carries. So it's actually carrying a Psycho Boost, which is probably just, it's either a special attacking set or it's either mixed with Superpower. And yeah, it's probably is but as you know, he swaps out anyway, and he goes into his Arceus. Now, this is the thing I was fearing a lot, really, because of course, as I just told you there, Swords Dance and Extreme Speed plus the Life Orb and Stab is nothing to be messing around with. So I go for the light screen on that turn while he swapped in, and he goes for the Swords Dance, predicting me to swap out, but I predict him and I go for Reflect on his turn. Now, getting screens up is probably the best asset in this game, because not only can I wall this Arceus a small bit, I can also freely send in a prior Pokemon, and I can pretty much take the hit, I suppose. But I swap up my Cresselia anyway, and I go into my Groudon. Now, I basically wanted to send in my Groudon to Dragon Tail it out, but he goes for another Swords Dance, which is really, really risky. And it all comes down to whether or not it's going to do a fuck ton of damage or not. So it actually doesn't do that much damage. I live with a good amount, and I Dragon Tail out the Arceus, which is perfect, and I Dragon Tail him out to his Thundurus. Now, the biggest thing I want to do here was basically, I know that with the light screen up, I could live a Hidden Power Ice or Hidden Power Grass, basically. So I stay in, and I can freely go up for my Stealth Rocks, which you see on this turn. And yeah, I go for Stealth Rocks anyway, and I have that thing. I have the Stealth Rocks up, meaning that Rayquaza and Shaman are now kind of put under pressure, basically. So it's pretty alright. It's pretty good. So, and in this turn, I basically want to go for a Thunder as he nasty plots. A Thunder Wave as he nasty plots, because just in case Groudon is destroyed by a Hidden Power Ice or Hidden Power Grass or something ridiculous along those lines, I'll be able to paralyze the Thunders, and I can swap in something else sufficient to one-hit KO it. Excuse me. So at this turn, I go for the Stone Edge, and for once in my life, I actually hit it. Because I never hit a Stone Edge, I never do. I never hit a Stone Edge. But I hit the Thundurus. That is a clean one-hit KO, and that thing is out of the way and just pretty much useless, to be honest. I mean, without Rain, that thing is basically not going to be working that much. So he sends in his Dialga here. Now, I was kind of afraid to see what this team was carrying, so I wanted to switch out and go into my Lugia, because Lugia, of course, is a specially defensive monster in Ubers, and can pretty much handle any Pokemon, to be honest with, especially based, and it has really good physical defense as well. So not only can it wall the special defense side, it can also wall the physically defensive side. So as you know, he goes for the Ice Beam again, and judging from the amount of damage, after looking over this video about 2 times, I knew that was Specs, because At the time when I was battling him, I didn't realise what it was, so I just immediately assumed like it was just scarfed or something. But on the turn, I go for the roost, and I surprisingly outspeed, which is more that which should have been enough for me to realise that it was choice specs. So I go for another roost as he switches out to Deoxys attack, basically because I want to get back up to full HP and pretty much take it from there, I suppose. But as you know, Deoxys attack can carry Shadow Ball sometimes, and he goes for it here actually. And I know I can take one and counter back with an Ice Beam because, as you know, Deoxys attack is all attack. He has no special defense or physical defense for that matter. So I just go for the Ice Beam, and it lives with a small amount, I suppose. It lives with about 1 or 2 HP. And hang on, let me just get this camera steady a small bit. Yep. So as I realised here in this turn, he's going to go for another Shadow Ball, and I just realised, hang on, I might as well stay in and go for a Roost and then swap out because I'll have more HP coming out then, and I'll be grand, you know. So I just turned to decide to Roost, and I'm back up to sufficient HP, and everything's going grand as you see there for the timer. After lefties, I get up to what, 357 I believe? Yeah, I get up to 357 in HP. So on this turn anyway, I swap out for my Lugia and I go back into my Groudon. Now, I basically sent in Groudon because, you know, he's done his job. He set up the sun, he's got up the rocks, he's got rid of Thundurus, he even got a kill on Thundurus, let's be honest, like. So it's time to let Groudon, you know, down a small bit, and we better focus on someone else. But as you know, he goes for the superpower in this turn, as I predicted, because as you know, they can be mixed. Let's be honest, like. But if I were him, I'd rather have went for the Psycho Boost of the Shadow Ball because, you know, the superpower is not going to take out my Groudon, even though it's like max attack. It's probably like mixed in attack and special attack, so it doesn't really matter. I live it anyway. And it's 6-4 in my favour, basically. So he's heading in Shaman Sky. Now, I want to see if this thing is Life Orbed or if it's Choice Specs or something. So I go into my Lugia again, basically to just take the Seed Flare or the Air Slash that he carries. Now, on this turn he does go for the Seed Flare. But at the time, I actually looked away from my DS. And I did not notice the Spec D drop, which was crucial, I must say, because I did not realized. I thought that he told me later after the battle that I got the Spec D dropping you that nearly took you out, and I was like, what? So when I looked back over on the versus recorder again and saw the playback, I do realize that he did get the Spec D drop. So on this turn he goes for an Air Slash as I went for the Reflect. Now Reflect's going to be okay, I suppose, because as you know, Arceus is going to be dented again as my Lugia can freely set up the Reflect and can pretty much, you know, wall it, I suppose. But at this point I'm thinking, right, I might as well fodder off Groudon because there's not much of a point leaving him in anymore. So as you know, he goes for the Air Slash, and that is definitely going to take out my Groudon from this range. Sorry now, Groudon, but you have done well in this game, I must say. But anyway, this turn you see he has lefties and he isn't Life Orb or Specs or Scarf or any of that shit. But I send in my Dragon Flying, the original Dragon Flying type Legendary, which is Rayquaza. But funny story behind that actually. I realized that I didn't realize that Latios and Latias at the time were still in Hoenn, so I decided calling him the original Dragon Legendary. So it was kind of, you know, stupid to be honest. But all jokes aside, I send in my Rayquaza and I go for the Extreme Speed, and I got a crit, which I'm not sure actually did matter because, you know, judging from the amount of damage he did with the Shaman to, like, with an Air Slash to my Groudon and my Lugia, I mean, that thing definitely has no defense investment. So he sends in his Dialga, and I swap out for my and I send in my Crest. So at the time, again, I kept thinking that this thing is scarfed and I could take an Ice Beam from it. But no, again, I go down. And it's pretty unfortunate, and that Crest has to die like that. But I didn't know what I was thinking. I kept thinking it was scarfed. So I was pretty much an idiot for thinking that, you know. So I sent in my fortress this turn because I know I can wall the Alga to shit basically because excuse me, just had to burp there. Anyway, I know that I can wall the Dialga with the ice the Dialga's ice beam. So I swapped into him and set up my spikes as he swaps into his Rayquaza. Now this was very very unexpected. I saw V create here, and I was like, what? But then I realized that it's Japanese, as you see over there, and as you may have noticed that Japan have released a new event for Rayquaza, the V create Rayquaza, which is like basically a Rayquaza with Victini's special V create move. So yeah, I take this turn to Volt Switch out, and I swap into my. I think I swap. What do I swap into this time? I think I go into my. What do I go into? I go into my Blaziken. Alright, I go into my Blaziken. And at this time I was thinking, you know, I might as well go for a Swords Dance or an Hydrogen Kick or something. But instead I go for the Swords Dance, predicting something else to come in. So I was thinking like, shite, I should have went for the Hydrogen Kick and killed this thing off straight away. So I would have basically like done my toll on it, like, you know. So like an idiot, I go for the Swords Dance, and I know the extreme speed is coming, and I was praying to God that he wouldn't take me out. So as I saw there, he was leftover. So I was thinking in my own mind, right, I think I will be able to live. I am going to live this extreme speed. I might not live it. I might not take it very well, but I will live with it. And I do. And I do live. I live with 91 HP, and I can go for the Flare Blitz and easily take that thing out, which is a great, great, great thing to happen because, as you know, Arceus is a pain in the arse, to be honest with you, because like it is very annoying. And I thought I'd die here, but I live with a small amount of HP, and as the leftovers, I get back up a small bit. As you know, I get my speed boost anyway with Blaziken. And I know that his Rayquaza is going to come in now and going to revenge kill me with an extreme speed. But at the time I was thinking, look, I might as well protect just to see if he is going to lock himself into it or really lock himself into something else. But I go for the protecting this turn, and as you know, he does go for the extreme speed. Which is rather unfortunate really, because Blaziken isn't going to be doing that much sweeping as it did in the first video, you know. So I might as well leave Blaziken in to die, because Blaziken, he did take out the Arceus, so to be honest, like, and because of that, Blaziken will always be my favourite third gym starter, because basically, actually my favourite starter, to be honest, because Blaziken is such a boss. It's a really, really good Pokemon, and yeah. It unfortunately does the extreme speed though, and I send in my Rayquaza this time, the original motherfucking Dragon Flying type, Dragon Flying legendary type. But as you know, he goes for the E-speed first. So I was thinking, oh god, this is going to be a bit riskier. I don't think I'm going to live. And but actually, I do live with it, and I go for my own extreme speed, and I take out his Rayquaza, which is grand enough. And yeah, Rayquaza's just botting away there. See him there with his big jaws. He's just gulping away. But as you know, I said to this Dialga here. Now, I was thinking like an idiot here. I kept thinking that this thing was Scarf, so I went for the E-speed. I'm jolly max speed and max attack, I could have went for the. No, I'm not max attack actually. I think I've a mix of Mixitine attack and special attack EVs. I'm not sure, but I could have went for the Fire Blast in this turn, or the Overheat, sorry, and could have easily killed this thing off. But then again, we all make mistakes, I suppose. But down goes my Rayquaza, and now I send in my Lugia. It's basically 2-1 in this match. I can easily outspeed this Lugia, and I can roost-stall him to death. Or make him basically roost-stall him until he can't use any more Ice Beams and go for Struggle. And spoiler, it does actually happen, because he does go for the Ice Beam regularly, because, you know, of Lugia's pressure. It can weaken down the shortage of Ice Beam. But as you know, he gets a crit in this turn, and it doesn't really matter to me, because I had this game in hand basically, because, you know, it's just Lugia has this in the bag. He has this in the bag. He's just roosting away, and he can just take these hits for days. So he goes for another ice beam on his turn, and as you know, it does mutual damage because of Lugia losing his flying type attribute because he landed on the ground at Roost. So I'm still going for Roosts, just to stall him out until he gets to the point of struggle. So I think this turn he actually struggles. I'm not sure. I think he does. Yeah, I think he does struggle on his turn. Yeah, he struggles on his turn. So as you know, he goes for the struggle, and it's helpless here looking at Dialga trying to beat down Lugia. It does barely amount of HP attack to Lugia, sorry, and it does more to him than it does to me. And as you know, he actually runs from the battle, and yeah, it'll be 2-1 in my favor. So I hope you all enjoyed this match. Actually, it was a pretty fun match actually, and I'd love if you'd check out Vroman31. He's a very good battler, to be honest with you. He's a good friend of mine, and yeah. So like, comment, subscribe, and there's my brother there just roaring in the background. But like, comment, subscribe, and this is the Super Safe Scraggy signing out, guys. Peace.